Ben McKee and Patrick Brown and Go Vols 24/7 with our no-huddle following Tennessee's 31-11 win over Florida. Tennessee has drained the swamp for the first time since 2003. I was 8 years old. You were 18 years old. I think that's a little extra sauce.
How old were you?
Sophomore
in high school.
Well, I wasn't too far off. So like 15, 16?
Yeah, 15. David Hobbs was not alive. He shared after the game.
He made sure to point out that he was
born in 2004.
Yeah, he was about to be born the last time Tennessee beat Florida in the swamp, and Tennessee was able to get it done 22 years later because of a very fast start. I mean, Tennessee literally could not have drawn up a better start tonight.
Yeah, it was 31-0 in halftime. That was a cathartic first half. I would say night. There are some people who are mad about the second half. Stop moaning, enjoy the win. You humiliated your rival on their own field. You haven't had many nights to celebrate in this stadium. There were a lot of people celebrating over there, so the people over there had a blast. But yeah, I mean, Tennessee came out with an edge. My wife texted me during the first half and was like, "Is Tennessee this good or is Florida this bad?" I was like, "Well, Florida's not great, but Tennessee has come out clearly with intent." And I don't remember which player said it, but I think it might have been Aguilar said, "Hey, we wanted to come out here and make a statement." They certainly did. First drive right down the field, 3 and out. First drive right down the field. You rush for 248 yards and just control the clock, control the game. The defense was flying around, playing fast, physical, and yeah, 10 losses, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of humiliation in the stadium. Tennessee turned the script tonight.
It did. It exercised a lot of demons tonight, and I think a big reason why the offense was able to score on its first 4 offensive possessions, scored touchdowns on its first 4 offensive possessions, had points on 5 out of its first 6, all but 1 possession in the first half to take that 31-0 lead in halftime was because of the running game. You mentioned it, but the numbers are pretty clear that Tennessee's offense has more success when Joey Aguilar is not asked to throw the football 30 to 40 times a game, and they were able to establish a run more consistently with Deshaun Bishop and Star Thomas tonight as well.
Yeah, and it was a lot of it had to do with Florida. They were playing 2 high safeties. They sat back the entire game, said, "Hey, we're not going to get beat deep." Tennessee did hit some pass plays early in the game. Obviously, Ethan Davis made a couple plays on that first drive. The 23-yard touchdown was a great play on his effort. The downfield block by Mike Matthews. They threw some passes to Brazel. Matthews got a drive started with a couple of catches, but from then on it was heavily leaning on Deshaun Bishop and Star Thomas. And we saw DeJuan Morris tonight too, who moved up and saw early playing time, and I'm not sure how many carries he ended up with, but looked pretty good filling in for Peyton Lewis. The offensive line didn't have Wendell Moy tonight. He was cleared and available but did not play, and even when David Sanders went down, you thought, hey, maybe they flip right Jesse Perry out to right tackle. They didn't. But yeah, the offensive line, it wasn't glamorous a lot of times, just like 4 or 5 yards in a cloud of dust, but they were able to hit some big runs. Obviously, Star Thomas on a 3rd 17 outside zone, splits it, goes 52 yards, almost scores, set up his touchdown on the next play. Deshaun Bishop had a 28-yard run at the end of the half. So, and those guys had to pick up some dirty yards too. I remember a 4th and 1 where Bishop had to push the pile 2 yards to get it to 4th and 1 right in the first quarter. And then he runs through a defensive tackle to get the yardage there on 4th and 1. They finished off that drive really well. So, yeah, a physical game. Tennessee dominated line of scrimmage. We don't get to say that a lot against Florida over the years, but Tennessee was the aggressor and the more physical team, and that'll be rewarding for Josh Heupel in this program.
Yeah, that was going to be my next talking point, was Tennessee dominated the line of scrimmage. We talked about it at length offensively and what that allowed them to do offensively. Defensively, they were flying around in the first half, and it started up front. You mentioned the offense picking up some short yardage situations. There's also a key moment where DJ Lagway is stuffed on a QB sneak. Just a lot of guys involved there with Jeremiah Thielander leading the way. So we knew that was going to be a key coming in, is who wins the line of scrimmage. And Tennessee certainly did on both sides of the ball, but Tennessee's defense, in addition to controlling the line of scrimmage, was really flying around, especially at the linebacker position with Arion Carter back.
Yeah, Arion looked like the rest had done him well. I mean, he's dealing with double turf toe. We've seen just how limited he's been against Oklahoma and Alabama when he's played, and then since the games he's missed. But he was making plays in open space tonight. Really looked like the kind of linebacker that Tennessee got early on in the season when he was leading the SEC in tackles and had 17 tackles in a game and 13 tackles in a game. The defensive line was really fierce. Tyree West had a couple tackles for loss. David Hobbs had a sack. What was interesting to me on that 4th down stop, and that whole sequence kind of reminded me of LSU 22. Early in the second quarter, they got a fourth down stop, and then Hooker hit Hyatt over the top on the next play. It wasn't as sexy because they almost fumbled right after it, so it wasn't as smooth. But that's just how it goes. But they had the pass rush guys then on that 3rd and 8, and Florida went fast. So it was Dominic Bailey and I think it was Hobbs in there, and they got low, and Lagway couldn't get any push. And then the other guys, you mentioned T-Lander, Jalen McMurray was in there. He got on that play. So that was a key moment there in the first half. For Tennessee, and their defense is probably what they expected to get most of the season, honestly. And but Tennessee, they got some breaks in the stadium, right? There was the holding on the Florida's second play. It was a 42-yard pass. They bust. They have 2 bad tackle attempts, but they catch a break because of a hold. Florida's kicker, who never misses from inside 40, missed from inside 40. There was a false start they didn't call.
Yeah, recovered a fumble.
Oh yeah, the fumble that Joey. That was the kind of game. You almost, even when they were starting well, you're like, okay, when's the play going to happen?
And it never happened.
And it never happened. And Tennessee didn't ever let it happen, and maybe they caught a break here or there. But listen to the high-level players after the game. They talked a lot about the history of this, and there was just a clear edge about this team during the week from what they said, and clearly from what we saw on the field tonight.
Yeah, and lastly, the discipline from the team as well. They had 4 penalties tonight. And one of them, they took a false start or delay of game on purpose when it was a 4th and 5. The first time they had to punt, 4th and 5, they were trying to get Florida to jump off sides there in the first half. They purposefully took the delay of game just because they were trying to get Florida to jump. And you're already at midfield. Jackson Ross is going to pin them deep anyways. Jackson Ross will be getting a game ball at GoVols247.com. He was phenomenal tonight, pinning Tennessee inside the 10-yard line. But
they had a penalty too. Ethan Davis false started, and they got the 10-second runoff, and he was like, "We're running the last 30 seconds of this off."
So you had 4 penalties, and one of them you took on purpose. So the discipline and the penalties is something we've talked a lot about. Josh Heupel's program, especially playing in the SEC on the road at night, and that was not an issue tonight.
Yeah, this is they went 3-1 on the road in SEC play this year, and I guess the bummer about this is that you win 3 games on the road, you win here. In another world, maybe you take care of business earlier in the season, and this is part of your step toward the playoff.
Or make a kick.
It's not, or make a kick, which Max Gilbert missed another one tonight. But that shouldn't take away from the domination and just the release of 20-something years of losing down here.
Well, and going off of that, we'll end on this, as I've already said that once, but we talked last week after New Mexico State of how uncomfortable the offseason could be if you lose either of these last 2 games. First step, you hurdled, you got through it, you got another big one coming up this week, and it's going to be a fun one. Tennessee has a chance to play spoiler next Saturday in Neyland Stadium and officially eliminate Vanderbilt from the playoffs.
Ruin their best season ever.
Yeah, I mean, thoroughly enjoy this one, as Josh Heupel said on the plane ride back. They enjoyed it on the field. We've got video of that already up on our YouTube page. Make sure you've checked that out, because there were some funny moments in that. Josh Heupel's walking down the sideline like he's Vince McMahon, thanking Tennessee fans for showing up. Braylon Staley and Mike Matthews are rocking a baby stuffed alligator.
There were some belts too, I believe.
There were a lot of belts, a lot of B2A going on the sideline in front of the Florida student section. But
what was left of it, at least.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoy this one. But if you check this box off, huge history achieved, and then you could go spoil Vanderbilt season. That salvages what was this season for Tennessee.
Yeah, and I think Holly Rowe mentioned it during the game. Josh Heupel mentioned it on Monday. So they talked about it a little bit after the game, how they kind of showed up almost a hype video about this rivalry. And Tennessee I think everybody knew that they hadn't won here in so long. So to get that week of preparation and that edge that they came out with, okay, how do you get it again? It's hard to do that in this sport. It's hard to do it every week. You just got to play the Diego Pavia Netflix series when he says F them dudes from Tennessee.
Look, Josh Heupel will have as much ammunition as he has ever had to get his football team ready to play this week. Yeah,
but you need it because he threw for like 400 and something yards against Kentucky today. So
Vanderbilt's a really good football team. So it'll be a fun one to conclude the regular season next Saturday in Neyland Stadium. Before we get there, we've got plenty of coverage from Tennessee's first win in the Swamp since 2003 up at the site at GoVols247.com, and plenty more to come as we do get in to Vanderbilt week. He's Patrick Brown. I'm Ben McKee.